Hello and welcome back to the Master Your Mindset podcast. I am your host, Isis Foster, and if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode again. These podcasts have been designed to help you get the most out of your life, whether you're a girly in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s or even 60s. These tips and tricks can be applied to any life to help you get to exactly where you want to be. These are daily tips which you can implement from today to help you live a more fulfilled life. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you follow me on Instagram and tag whichever episode you're listening to. Instagram is IsisFoster1, and please make sure you share this with the people around you too. You never know who it may help. So without no further ado, let's crack on with this episode. Grab your notepad and a glass of wine if it's that time, and let's get going. Hey girlies, I can't believe that we are nearly in February. I can't be the only one who's thinking, where on earth did that first month of 2024 go? It always feels so long when you're in it. But as it comes to an end, I always kind of think that first month went so quickly. And then I feel like it's a rapid time after that. Like everything from that first month kind of feels like, whoa, what's happening now? And then it all happened so quickly. So coming out of January, so many of us would have had goals, aspirations, things that we hoped to conquer. Maybe we were doing dry Jan. Maybe we wanted to get ourselves back in the gym. Maybe we had all these hopes for ourselves, but 2 or 3 weeks in, we kind of said, oh, actually, it's not going to be this year that I do that. I'm here today to show you that it is still so possible. Yes, January might nearly be over, but we still have another 11 months left of this year. And if there is one thing that you can give yourself over the next 11 months, it's self-love. Self-love is something which I only really discovered within the last year. I used to think of self-love as running that hot bath, or reading a really nice book, or taking myself on holiday, or buying myself something expensive that I wouldn't usually have. But my goodness, it is so much more than all those things. Self-love can come in so many different ways, and it doesn't have to be materialistic. If I could tell you one thing, it's that the best way you can give yourself self-love is through sentimental things. It's not through buying yourself an incredible handbag or buying yourself a new book. Obviously, if that is your form of self-love and that's what you enjoy doing and that's what makes you feel good, then that's for you. But for those girlies who are on a budget that don't have loads of money to spend at the end of the month but still want to give themselves love, I'm about to share with you all of the things which you can give to yourself that don't cost a thing. And we hear it all the time, don't we? Oh, you need to be kinder to yourself. You need to show yourself more love. But what does that actually mean? If you're a girl who finds it really hard to battle emotions, finds it really hard to stop overthinking, depends on people around them for validation or for happiness or to distract themselves, this can be a really challenging topic. So I really hope that after you've listened to this podcast, you've gained some knowledge out of what I'm about to share with you, because these are all things which I have learned whilst I've been on a personal development journey myself, which have helped me so much. Falling in love with yourself is better than falling in love with anybody else, because you are always going to have yourself at the end of the day. Even if you're in a relationship, the one person you really need to look after is yourself, because without you being in the right headspace and without you feeling good about yourself, there won't be anyone else. And I always say that it's so much more attractive to be with somebody who fully loves themselves, not in an arrogant way or not in a stuck-up way or not in a selfish way, but somebody who you know is sure about themselves, because that energy radiates. So being kind to yourself is so underrated, especially if you've got a relationship or you've got loads of friends who you're constantly out with all the time, or maybe you've even got children. You're used to putting so many people before you that sometimes you leave yourself behind, and this can actually be really detrimental on your mental health. If you're somebody who constantly puts everyone before you and you're constantly thinking, what is everyone else thinking about me? Maybe you are that girl who is a bit of an overthinker and you never want to do anything that's going to upset other people or make you look out to not be good. This is the podcast for you, and I promise you're going to get so many good tips and tricks. So first of all, what environments are you putting yourself into? We want to love ourselves in the best way possible, but sometimes the environments that we're surrounded with don't allow us to do that. So how can we change those environments? Because let's be honest, some environments we may be thinking, actually we can't change. If you work in an office space, for example, and the person that you are sitting next to grates on you every single day, maybe they're not very kind with their words, maybe their energy is just a little bit off. What can you do to remove yourself from that environment? Because let's be honest, you're not going to quit your job, but is there another seat that you can sit out? Is there somebody else you could sit next to? These are all little changes that you can make, which actually will build up to such great big changes in the long term. So make sure that the environments that you're surrounding yourself with are actually uplifting you. Make sure the people you're spending time with are people that make you feel good and not shit about yourself, because it's little changes like this throughout the course of the year that will add up to great things next year. So whose energy are you feeding off? Are there people in your life that moan about everything? Because I've definitely had people in my life in the past who would moan. Like, you'd be in a beautiful country enjoying the most beautiful views, but they would still find something to moan about. And I don't know if it's just because my mind is constructed maybe in a different way, but there's certain situations where you're like, how are you moaning about this? Like, I really don't understand what you're moaning about. But there will be people out there who have to find negatives in everything. And especially for somebody like myself, who is a bit of a positive Polly, who always likes to see look at life on the bright side. If you are somebody like that and you're surrounding yourself with people who always have to put a negative spin on things, maybe it's time to reassess who you're sharing your energy with, because I've spoken about energy levels before, but your energy is so contagious. And if you are somebody who is such a high vibe and you've got loads of energy to bring into different environments and situations, but those situations that you're surrounding yourself with are always really negative, they are going to drain you, and before long you will end up becoming one of those people who are negative all the time, and you're going to feel like you've got no energy left. So just be very, very cautious about the environment and the people that you are spending time with. How do you speak to yourself as well? Are you somebody that says, right, you're going to have a great day today? Or are you somebody who says, oh my God, not this. This is going to be a shit day. Or are you somebody in the middle? Some days do you have good days? Some days do you have bad days? You need to figure out where exactly you are on that line and then go from there. There will be people out there who are really positive. I'm definitely one of those people. Even if I feel like I'm going to have a shit day, I've been able to master my mind and being able to turn those thoughts into something positive, because there is always something positive in every single day. But if you are somebody on the other end of that spectrum and you say to yourself every single day, oh my God, I hate this, I can't be asked to do this, oh, this really stresses me out, and somebody who moans about everything, we need to change the way that you are speaking to yourself. And one thing that you can do, which completely actually altered the way that I look at things that I don't particularly want to do, is rather than saying, oh, I have to do this, I have to go to work, I have to go to the gym, I have to meal prep, I have to see my friends, why don't you change that from I have to I get to? I get to go to the gym, I get to go to work, I get to hang out with my friends. Because the moment that you tell your brain that you get to do something rather than you have to do something, your whole brain rewires, and rather than being stressed, annoyed, angry about having to do something, your brain actually gets happy, excited, and it can't wait to do the things you get to do. Because you would never say, I have to go on holiday, unless you were saying it in a negative term. But if you say, I get to go on holiday, that's way more exciting for you. So change the way that you are constructing sentences in your brain so that they're there to help you. Because at the end of the day, if someone says, oh, you have to do this, what is your instant reaction? Is it to go, yay, I can't wait to do that? Or is it, oh no, I have to do that? And it puts a negative and stressful spin on it. Nobody wants to feel negative and nobody wants to feel stressful about things they have to do every single day. So rather than saying, I have to go to work, why don't you say I get to go to work and change the narrative on what you're saying? Make sure as well that when you are doing this, you're saying it with meaning. You're not just saying, oh, I get to do this, but inside you're thinking, oh, but I really have to do this. Make sure that you genuinely believe what you are saying, because the longer you do this for, I swear to God, I don't know how it works, but it actually tricks your mind in a way to think that what you're having to do is actually really exciting. I use this for so many different things. Going to the gym is definitely one of them as well. There's definitely days, and any girlies who feel like this as well, I think especially on a Monday, so I go really early on a Monday morning, and that alarm going off at 5:45, I have to fight every temptation in my body to not snooze that alarm. As soon as I see that snooze button, I know if I hit that, there is no way I'm getting up for the gym. But you have to be able to turn that narrative around and be able to conquer your actions quicker than your mind can tell you what to do, and then just get up and do it. One thing as well, which I really hope this helps any girlies out there who find it really hard to spend time on their own, because that definitely used to be me. I've spoken about this in previous episodes, that I used to always want to be in a social setting. I found it very hard to just be alone. And I don't know if that's through previous traumas or through just wanting to be busy and not wanting to spend time with my own thoughts. I honestly found it so scary. But what are you doing with your spare time? So if you're not working out, if you're not at the gym, if you're not at a planned event, what do you do with your spare time? Are you somebody who is trying to learn a new skill and trying to upgrade their life? Maybe you're listening to this podcast with your spare time. Maybe you're enrolling into a course so you can learn a new language. Maybe you're signing up for a dance class. If you are doing something productive like that, then that is absolutely incredible. But for the girlies who always quickly call their friends because they don't want to be alone, or for the people who are looking to go to the pub and drink alcohol because they don't want to be with their own thoughts, then please, if there's one thing you do, just stop yourself in the moment you're about to act impulsively. I actually used to be that girl who would turn to drinks on the weekend to kind of flush out the week. I used to work Monday to Friday in quite a full-on job, and then by the time it gets to the weekend, we've all been there. We just want to have a release, and my release was alcohol for a couple of years. And then I realised, actually, I'm in this vicious cycle where I will work Monday to Friday all day and then not really do much in the evening, and then it'd get to the weekend and then I'd feel like I was trying to look for escapism. I would turn to drink because it was really fun, but also then I knew going back to work on a Monday morning I would feel really shit in myself, and it was this cycle and it went on for years. And all it takes is for you to break that cycle once and for you to say, actually, I don't want to go to work hungover. Not only do you feel shit in yourself, if you're someone who's on a bit of a fitness journey, it's not very good for your waistline. And alongside that, you spend so much more when you're drinking than when you don't drink. I would say that this month has probably been one of my happiest months. I have done damp Jan. So it's not completely dry Jan, but I've definitely done damp Jan, and I've only drank twice, and genuinely, one, the money you save from not drinking is so good, but also you just feel so much more alert. Anyone who's done dry Jan or even a bit of a damp Jan, please do let me know how you're feeling and what you felt like coming out of this month, because I think I went into this month thinking I'll just do it for January, but genuinely moving forward, I'm not even like craving a drink. I'm not even like, oh, I can't wait to have a glass of wine. I think, if anything, it's taught me that in moderation it's really good. And for like special events, definitely. But there's just no need to crack open a bottle of wine on a Thursday night or to go to like a bottomless brunch every single weekend, because that was me. I was the girl who was like looking for bottomless brunches every single weekend. And anyone who likes bottomless brunches will know that the only alcohol really that they serve you is Prosecco, which after 2 glasses you really don't need anymore. But they would bring you bottles and bottles and bottles, and it was never ending. And I think coming out of that cycle, I really just love this place that I'm at now, because I don't have to turn to drink. I love my day-to-day life so much, and I'm not looking for an escapism anymore. I think it's the same with holidays. Like, I used to always be that person who'd be like, we have to go on holiday, we have to go on holiday. And it was to escape my day-to-day life in the real world. But actually, my life is so good now that going on holiday is just a bonus. I'm no longer going away to try and find that escapism or to try and find something that I don't already have. It's just an added bonus. Also, what are we fueling our bodies with these days? Are you somebody who meal preps and make sure that you eat nutritiously throughout the week, drinking loads of water? Or are you somebody who's a bit slapdash, you're in a rush, you don't really know what to eat, so you're just going to grab that microwavable meal, or you're going to have last night's takeaway pizza and just heat it up? What kind of person are you, and what changes can you make to your life? Because I was the latter person for years and years and years. I was not in a good way. I would literally come home from work and just make myself a cheese board because that was all that was in the fridge. And looking back, I just want to give that girl a big cuddle, because I didn't know that that wasn't good for me. I just grabbed something. And at that point in my life, when you're growing up and you've had like the whole uni experience, and when it's like dinner time and all you've got in the fridge is cheese, you just kind of eat it because you're hungry. You don't really think about the effects that's going to have on your body long term. But I definitely think that as I've got older and I'm way more into nutrition now and good food and eating well, these things make such a difference. Like the novelty of being able to have the time to cook yourself a good meal, or if you don't have the time, just batch cooking these meals, putting them in your fridge or your freezer, and then knowing that you're going to come back to a really nutritious meal makes such a difference. And these little changes don't actually have to take up that much time. If anything, I would say that batch cooking and then breaking the meal up and then reheating it as and when you need it actually saves you time, because you don't need to think about what you're having for dinner. It's already cooked. Warming up something in the microwave, how long does that take? 2-3 minutes? And then you eat it and then it's done, and then you've fueled your body with great foods. So if you're somebody who's a bit slapdash and you're not really sure what you're supposed to be eating, then please do your research, because I promise whatever you're going to cook at home will be better than a takeaway or a microwavable meal that you're just going to shove in the microwave. Now, for all the girlies that love to procrastinate, this next tip is definitely for you. Are you somebody who says you're going to do something, but then you easily get distracted by something else, and then that thing that you said you were going to do never ends up getting done? And then you panic because you don't have enough time to do it. You get to that moment and then it's kind of like, okay, got to quickly do it. And then you don't actually get to put your all into it. Because believe it or not, that's another form of self-love. And if you are somebody who procrastinates on something you've told yourself you're going to do, then that's you saying to yourself, I don't really love myself and that's not a priority for me. Now, this could be something like going to the gym. This could be something like batch cooking a meal for the week. This could be something like making your best friend a birthday card. Whatever it is, if you tell yourself you're going to do it and then you actually go through with it, you get this sense of fulfillment. You say to yourself, I told myself I was going to do that. I have now done that, and now I feel so good about the fact that I've completed that task. And you can apply this to any area of your life. I always plan out my weeks in advance. I've actually got this incredible whiteboard with all the days of the week, and then I just write on it what I'm going to do on a Sunday night for all the days coming up that week. And once I've done it, I will wipe it off. Anything that is left on that board at the end of the week that I haven't completed, I always get this like sinking feeling. I'm always like, a bit disappointed in myself that I haven't done it. But there is always time throughout the week to complete things that you know that you have to do. So that's on you to manage your time well so that you can actually complete everything that you want to do, because it's so much better to end a week knowing that you've completed everything you wanted to do, instead of having things luring over your head and knowing that you could have done them but you actually couldn't be bothered, and instead you maybe scrolled on TikTok, or maybe you FaceTimed your friend because you're trying to distract yourself with things that aren't actually going to help you get to wherever you want to be. They're things which feel good in the moment, but long term, they're not actually helping you. So make sure that in moments of procrastination, you've got the power within you to say to your mind, actually, no, that's not something which is going to help me. That's something that's going to distract me short term, and it's not going to help me long term. So I'm actually not going to do that. Believe it or not, you are actually in control of your mind. Even if sometimes you feel like your mind is wandering somewhere else, or you're overthinking a situation, or you're a million miles away on a different planet, whatever it is, it's actually you who are in charge of all those thoughts. There'll always be external situations and external factors around you, but ultimately you are the person in charge of your mind. So it's on you to make sure that in moments of procrastination, you're able to bring yourself back to that situation and get the job done. So I hope this podcast episode has shown you that there is so much more to self-love than just running that bath or having an early night or going on that hot girl walk. There are so many things which you can actually implement today, which all begin within you. There are so many factors which you can change right now, which will help you love yourself more. I think with social media and with people around us, it's so easy to be like, self-love is all about materialistic things. It's about physically doing things which are going to make you love yourself more, which on one foot, yes, there is that option. But if you are a girly on a budget who wants to improve their life, but doesn't have the means to physically go out and buy a new set of bed sheets or run yourself a hot bath with loads of bubble bath, whatever it is, you don't need all those things. Please use the tips and tricks which I have shared with you today to help you love yourself more, because everything that you will experience externally will begin within you internally. The way that you talk to yourself, the way that you show up for yourself, the people you hang around with, the environments you put yourself in, the things you're fueling your body with, how you're managing your time, what's going on in your mind, and if you do what you say you're going to do, and if you show up for yourself every single day, these are actually all little things which you can put into place from this very moment. So I know I've shared a lot with you on this podcast, and one thing which I think might be very helpful is for you to go back over the podcast and make a little chart which you can tick off every single day. Maybe start with just one or two of the tips that I've shared with you, and then build up your tricks and tips along the months. So if you are somebody who really struggles to stay on track with things, building a little chart will help you keep you accountable. Another way is to tag me on Instagram and show me exactly what you are doing to give yourself self-love. I am all for seeing everyone's journeys and watching people transform their life. So if you're going to use any of the tips and tricks which I've shared with you into how to becoming more self-loved, then please do share on Instagram. I'm at IsisFoster1. Show me what you're up to. Show me what changes you're making to your day. I can't wait to see all your progress. Make sure you're taking it one day at a time, and let's play the long game, because no one ever conquered self-love overnight. But this small, daily, consistent actions which you're going to put in place will turn into a complete lifestyle change over time. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. You've been an incredible audience. I can't wait to see how much the tips that I've shared with you are going to impact your life. Feel free to share at IsisFoster1 on Instagram. Have a beautiful week, everyone.